This tutorial we're gonna start with opening the program. After opening the program, we will find the presets. We can choose from them. Choose any of the presets. We can hit play button to see what the presets look like. You can see each letter take a position at each second, and another second it have another position. So you can move it from the arrows. You can hit linear movement from the head of the arrow, or can you grab the letter as all movement. As moving the letters, you get a keyframe at each point have red mark. Each red mark represent a position of the letter at each second, which move from this position to that other position in that second when you hit plus button in the green. Let's say I want to move this letter, then I move it, then hit plus button. And you must hit it for each letter. And if you play it, it will be 10 seconds. You can change the time, change the speed. It will move according to the positions you had set and hitting the plus button to set a keyframe. At the second 0, I will move its position and hit keyframe. Let's say I want it to be like up here and rotate it from the cylinder of the arrow and hit plus key. Then I added a keyframe. Linear movement for this letter, some rotation, and scale it. At the second 0, I hit plus button, then I added a keyframe at the start, at the second 0. And we can see when I play it, it's moved from position A to B to C, according to the seconds where I set them. I will move this letter also, this one here, also this one. I can delete it also. We go to the shapes menu. In the shapes menu, you will find presets for numbers. You can move them. If you didn't see it on the screen, you can choose the shape menu and then click on the menu for the numbers, for size, position, rotate, and scale. You will find it's moved from negative 19 and here positive 23, negative 122. I can move it. If I couldn't move it on the screen for any reason, if it have no display, after finishing I must press plus button to save the keyframe at that place. And when you hit play button, it will move from that position you added a keyframe. It will be represented as red marks, and if you choose any red mark, it will present where the letter at that second. If you want to delete it, you can hit the keyframe and hit the negative and a red line. It's the opposite of then adding the green one, the plus button. and you can see it will move. You can change the color from the right menu, color menu. You will find 4 panels. Each panel represents color of part of the letter. Text will change its color, but text outline changes the border, the bevel of the outline. You can move and choose your color, and never forget to hit the plus button to add the keyframe to save it. And if I draw a shape and choose the other 2 menus, you can change the color of the shape accordingly, the shape, the core body of the shape, and also the bevel of the shape. Also, you can double click and add any text inside the shape. Hit OK. You will find the letters we added inside the shape, and you can modify it. You can modify the letters, size, positions between each letter, position between each line, the depth, the dimensions. This line will change the dimension of the shape itself. First line, accordingly, will move the width, height, and depth of the big shape, the core shape that contains the letters inside. And if you can see, we can move it from the arrows, or you can move it from the menus of the numbers if you can, and if you want to precise movement, you can add any shape from the menus and also modify it. We can use this position, and after finishing we must hit the plus button to add a keyframe. And if you see that right line, right menus, move it and scale it and do the same movement you can find on the right panels. You can choose whatever you need. And if I choose text, change its color, and choose text outline and change its color, the border will move with the color. And the first tool will change the bevel size, the borders of the text. We can see. Second one, accordingly change the depth. If you move it, it increases the depth in the Z dimension. Third one, change the size. You can move the size of the text inside of the shape. And the fourth one, change the bevel of the shape. It moves the bevel of the star. You can draw a shape and move its border like the borders of the text of the shape itself. And this accordingly changes the shape of the bevel. This one here changes the shape itself at the background. You will not see it move it accordingly because it contains a text, but it increases in the Z dimension. And the final one, accordingly change the shape as a whole body. Change all the shapes, the size of the core shape you have drawn. Accordingly move it, scale it, and try to select it and move it at different positions and set keyframes accordingly to save your movement. We can click the text button to add new text. First the tool you can select, and the second one, letter A, you can choose it, add if any different text you want. Double click just and try to move and scale it. If you can see other tools for draw shapes like rectangular, cylinder, circle, star. You can try using these tools and move it, rotate it, scale it. This node here inside of the arrow, they change the size. It's modify the size of the shape. You can draw another rectangle with rounded borders, can move it, scale it, rotate it. And the middle node, it's like drag it. And then adding colors for the shape itself and also for the borders and bevel of the shape. You can try to get to each tool separately and try move it, rotate it to be familiar with other tools. You can choose any shape and draw it. In your project, you have imagination of what shapes you want to draw. Then choose from different presets, double click and add your text. After adding your text inside, you can, from the panels of the text, you can modify it or move it from the tools and the arrows, or get to the right panel at the right of the screen and move it as a numbers. And change the color of the outline of the bevel of the text. You can also add different shapes from this panel. You can click it. You will see different presets. You can choose from them any preset you want. This panel, preset, and you will find arrows 1, arrows 2, a slit, a word building. You can choose any preset you want, press OK, and then draw it. Just draw it by grabbing with the selection tool. Now you will delete this, move this, and take different positions and hit play button. You can see it will move according to the positions I had set in the timeline and adding a keyframe. And then finally we hit save.